Welcome to episode 902 of Apartment Hacker. This is Mike Burnett, Apartment Hacker. It's my mission to tease out human potential in the multifamily space. So just finished an article from the fine folks over at D2 Demand. We are a client, just full disclosure. 3 reasons multifamily needs to prepare for September the 1st. They believe that September the 1st will be a real tell for the impact of COVID-19 in the multifamily space, but in industries at large. Multifamily specifically, the reason why the date is so important and why they are highlighting it is that unemployment insurance runs out. The increased amounts and the extension of unemployment insurance runs out August, at the end of August. So September the 1st becomes a critical date. My imagination is that it gets extended through the end of the year, so that risk factor isn't. They say the same thing in the article, that there is the potential for that extension, especially since we are in an election season. The second reason that they cite that September the 1st is an important date is that the tailwind of demand, sort of pent up demand, so COVID-19 happens, leasing falls off the cliff, but then it recovers to what is potentially a stabilized number. That gets extended a bit through the summer, but then it probably has a crashing effect. So the curve gets pushed out a little bit, but then leasing crashes a little bit later than it normally would. And then their suggestion that, not suggestion, but they cite Dr. Fauci and certainly evidence for a resurgence of COVID-19 in the fall, and you marry that up with flu season, that could have a crashing impact on the economy. I think the other thing, and I'm not 100% certain about this, I have no basis for this, it's just a gut feeling, is that you've had this, not a glut of inventory, let's not call it overbuilding. I think we were sort of meeting demand, but I think the impact of COVID is going to cause this sort of doubling up and tripling up of households, or people moving back home, the younger generation moving back home with parents to sort of weather this storm, and the impact of that on the Class A space and pricing in the Class A space, and how that compression and sort of pressure on pricing at that space, impacts kind of the trickle down effect. And in my head, there will be some sort of dramatic, at least dramatic as it relates to sort of this rise that we've seen over the last, who knows, let's call it a 10-year run in rent inflation. We could see a lot of those gains that have been made over the last 10 years erased by this pressure, all these things coming together in a perfect storm, all the things that they cite, along with this what will now potentially be an overbuilt market, because you have this sort of moving back home and or doubling up and tripling up for affordability factors. I'm interested to see the impact of that particular component combined with these others on the multifamily space. And I tend to agree with him. September 1st is going to be a real tell for many of those things. Let's just suggest that the fall is shaping up to be interesting, to say the least. Love to hear your thoughts. Take care. I'll link the article up. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.